It described a method for increasing the number of unstable trinucleotide repeats on the X chromosome. All humans had repeat sequences, the presence of which were associated with various diseases: spinal and bulbar muscular atrophy, fragile X mental retardation, myotonic dystrophy, Huntington disease, and Machado-Joseph disease, all well understood neurological disorders. In normal DNA, the repeats were below the level of expression of disease. Standard tests of the zygote assured this. The Gross paper told how to construct two viruses. The first would plant a time bomb in the egg. At a particular stage of embryonic development, the repetition of trinucleotides would explode. The second virus would plant compensating sequences on the Y chromosomes. Creating the viruses would be tricky but not impossible problem in plasmid engineering. Their effect, however, would be devastating. In males, the Y chromosome would suppress the X-linked diseases, but in females, the trinucleotide syndromes would be expressed. When the repeats kicked in, the child would develop any one of a host of debilitating or fatal neurological disorders. Of course, once the disorder was recognized, either gene engineers would go to work curing it, or at least identifying possessors prenatally. The Gross virus would not destroy the human race, but it could burden a generation of females with disease and early death. Tyler had led Erno to this monstrosity. What was he supposed to do with it? Nonetheless, Erno downloaded the file into his notebook. He had just finished when Clooney came into the lab. "Hello, Professor O'Deilson," Clooney said to Lemmy. He saw Erno and did a double-take. Erno stared back at him. "I'm not a professor, Michael," Lemmy said. Clooney pointed at Erno. "You know the constables are looking for him?" "They are? Why?" Erno got up. "Don't bother explaining, I'll go." Clooney moved to stop him. "Wait a minute." Erno put his hand on Clooney's shoulder to push him aside, and Clooney grabbed Erno's arm. "What's going on?" Lemmy asked. Erno tried to free himself from Clooney, but the Earthman's grip was firm. Clooney pulled him, and pain shot through the shoulder Erno had hurt in yesterday's spill. Erno hit Clooney in the face. Clooney's head jerked back, but he didn't let go. His jaw clenched, and his expression hardened into animal determination. He wrestled with Erno. They lost their balance and, in slow motion, stumbled against a lab bench. Lemmy shouted, and two women ran in from the next lab. Before Erno knew it, he was pinned to the floor. Many of the stories for men were about murder. The old Earth writers seemed fascinated by murder and wrote about it from a dozen perspectives. In one of the stories, a detective whose job it is to throw illegal riders off cargo trains finds a destitute man, a hobo, hiding on the train. While being brutally beaten by the detective, the hobo strikes back and, unintentionally, kills him. The punishment for such a killing, even an accidental one, is death. Terrified, knowing that he has to hide his guilt, the hobo hurries back to the city. He pretends he never left the flophouse, where he spent the previous night. He disposes of his clothes, dirty with coal dust from the train. Then he reads a newspaper report. The detective's body has been found, but the investigators assume that he fell off the train and was killed by accident, and are not seeking anyone. The hobo is completely free from suspicion. His immediate reaction is to go to the nearest police station and confess. 11. Erno waited in a small white room at the constabulary headquarters. As a child, Erno had come here many times with his mother, but now everything seemed different. He was subject to the force of the state. That fucking cow Clooney. The constables had taken his notebook. Was that pro forma, or would they search it until they found the gross file? He wondered what Alicia had done after he'd left the day before. What had she told her friends? The door opened and two women came in. One of them was tall and good-looking. The other was small, with a narrow face and close-cropped blonde hair. She looked to be a little younger than his mother. She sat down across from him. The tall woman remained standing. "This can be simple, Erno, if you let it," the small woman said. She had an odd drawl that, combined with her short stature, made Erno wonder if she was from Earth. "Tell us where Tyler Durden is and about the conspiracy." Erno folded his arms across his chest. "I don't know where he is. There is no conspiracy." "Do we have to show you images of you and him together during the oxygen warehouse riot?" "I never saw him before that or since. We were just hiding in the back room." "You had nothing to do with the smart paint explosion?" "No." The tall woman, who still had not spoken, looked worried. The blonde interrogator leaned forward, resting her forearms on the table. "Your DNA was found at the access portal where the device was set." Erno squirmed. He imagined a sequence of unstable nucleotide triplets multiplying in the woman's cells. "He asked me to help him. I had no idea what it was." No idea. So it could have been a bomb big enough to blow a hole in the dome. Yet you told no one about it. "I knew he wasn't going to kill anyone. I could tell." The interrogator leaned back. "I hope you will excuse the rest of us if we question your judgment." "Believe me, I would never do anything to hurt a cousin. Ask my mother." The tall woman finally spoke. "We have. She does say that. But you have to help us out, Erno. I'm sure you can understand how upset all this has made the polity." "Forget it, Kim," the other said. "Erno here is not going to betray his lover." "Tyler's not my lover," Erno said. The blonde interrogator smirked. "Right." The tall one said, "There's nothing wrong with you being lovers, Erno." "Then why did this one bring it up?" "No special reason," said the blonde. "I'm just saying you wouldn't betray him." "Well, we're not lovers." "Too bad," the blonde muttered. "You need to help us, Erno," the tall one said. "Otherwise, even if we let you go, you're going to be at risk of violence from other cousins." "Only if you tell everyone about me." "So we should just let you go and not inconvenience you by telling others the truth about you?" said the blonde. "What truth? You don't know me." She came out of her chair, leaning forward on clenched fists. Her face was flushed. "Don't know you. I know all about you." "Mona, calm down," the other woman said. "Calm down? Earth history is full of this. Men sublimate their sexual attraction in claims of brotherhood, with the accompanying military fetishism, penis comparing, suicidal conquer or die movements. Durden is heading for one of those classic orgasmic Armageddons. Masada, Hitler in the bunker, David Koresh, September 11, the California massacre." The tall one grabbed her shoulder and tried to pull her back. "Mona." Mona threw off the restraining hand and pushed her face up close to Erno's. "If we let this little shit go, I guarantee you he'll be involved in some transcendent destructive act. Suicidally brave, suicidally cowardly. Aimed at all of us. The signs are all over him." Spittle flew in Erno's face. "You're crazy," Erno said. "If I wanted to fuck him, I would just fuck him." The tall one tried again. "Come away, officer." Mona grabbed Erno by the neck. "Where is he?" "Come away now." The tall cop yanked the small woman away, and she fell back. She glared at Erno. The other, tugging her by the arm, pulled her out of the room. Erno tried to catch his breath. He wiped his sleeve across his sweating face. He sat there alone for a long time, touching the raw skin where she had gripped his neck. Then the door opened, and his mother came in. "Mom!" She carried some things in her hands, put them on the table. It was the contents of his pockets, including his notebook. "Get up." "What's going on?" "Just shut up and come with me. We're letting you go." Erno stumbled from the chair. "That officer is crazy." "Never mind her. I'm not sure she isn't right. It's up to you to prove she isn't." She hustled him out of the office and into the hall. In seconds, Erno found himself, dizzy, in the plaza outside the headquarters. "You are not out of trouble. Go home and stay there," his mother said, and hurried back inside. Passers-by in North 6 watched him as he straightened his clothes. He went to sit on the bench beneath the acacia trees in the lava-tube's center. He caught his breath. Erno wondered if the cop would follow through with her threat to tell everyone about his helping with the explosion. He felt newly vulnerable. But it was not just vulnerability he felt. He had never seen a woman lose it as clearly as the interrogator had. He had gotten to her in a way he had never gotten to a matron in his life. She was actually scared of him. Now what? He put his hand in his pocket and felt the notebook. He pulled it out. He switched it on. The gross file was still there, and so was the address he'd written earlier. A dream. Erno was 10 when his youngest sister Celeste was born. After the birth, his mother fell into a severe depression. She snapped at Erno, fought with Aunt Sophie, and complained about one of the husbands until he moved out. Erno's way of coping was to disappear. His cousin Afra coped by misbehaving. One day, Erno came back from school to find a fire in the middle of the kitchen floor, a flurry of safety bots stifling it with foam. His mother screaming, and Afra, who had apparently started the fire, shouting back at her. Skidding on the foam, Erno stepped between the two of them, put his hands on Afra's chest, and made her go to her room. The whole time, his mother never stopped shouting. Erno was angrier at her than at Afra. She was supposed to be the responsible one. When he returned from quieting Afra, his mother ran off to her room and slammed the door. Erno cleaned the kitchen and waited for Aunt Sophie to come home. The night of the fire, he had a dream. He was alone in the kitchen, and then a man was there. The man drew him aside. Erno was unable to make out his face. "I am your father," the man said. "Let me show you something." He made Erno sit down and called up an image on the table. It was Erno's mother as a little girl. She sat cross-legged, hunched over some blocks, her face screwed up in troubled introspection. "That's her second phase of work expression," Erno's father said. With a shock, Erno recognized the expression on the little girl's face as one he had seen his mother make as she concentrated. "She hates this photo," Erno's father said, as if to persuade Erno not to judge her. She still contained that innocence, that desire to struggle against a problem she could not solve. But Erno was mad. As he resisted, the father pressed on and began to lose it too. He ended up screaming at Erno. "You can't take it? I'll make you see. I'll make you see." Erno put his hands over his ears. The faceless man's voice was twisted with rage. Eventually, he stopped shouting. There you go, he said quietly, stroking Erno's hair. "You're just the same.